To kick off the program, it is our honor to have Professor Shayamal Majumdar as one of our keynote speakers for today. Professor Majumdar is head of UNESCO Unifolk International Center in Germany.
As a VPET expert, Professor Majumdar has conducted a variety of programs and projects in the education sector across the globe. He was an author of more than 100 research papers and a co-author of more than 20 book publications.
This morning, he's going to talk about the partnership and collaboration among VPET institutions in the Asia-Pacific region. Without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to Professor Majumdar.
Very good morning. Jo-san, Sao-an. It is indeed a great pleasure and honor to be here on the 20th anniversary of Hong Kong handover and 35 years of VTC celebration. Congratulations, sir. On behalf of International Center in Bonn and on behalf of 12 Univox centers present in this room today, 7 of them has joined. I'd like to convey our sincere thanks to VTC for organizing such a wonderful conference. Truly speaking, I am deeply impressed by one thing I have to share with you. I told many of you now, the way the dynamism, youthfulness of the student taking in charge of MC, beautiful dance yesterday offered, and also the young ambassadors, I think a great future for Hong Kong. Congratulations again. Today, I'm going to share our experience regarding developing partnership and collaboration among VPET institutions in Asia-Pacific region. The most important thing we have to understand before the partnership and collaboration is the context. So allow me to have the global context first, then I will come to the regional context, why we need to partnership and collaboration, and what is the structure that is available with us. The global context is, we all know that United Nations has taken a historic decision on September 2015, when the Millennium Development Goal was finished, a new vision for the world, which is Sustainable Development Goal. If you look Sustainable Development Goal, the tree, there are 17 goals has been identified. It is a new vision for people, the planet, prosperity, peace, and partnership. It's not only focused in one dimension. It's a holistic in nature. It is universal, because if you remember very correctly, Millennium Development Goal was highly overemphasized on the developing country and poverty alleviation. And primary education compulsory was one of the target. Many of the developed countries told me, we have achieved that agenda quite long back. It is not relevant to us, the Millennium Development Goal. United Nations, with the member countries' support, realized we should a new vision, not only on one agenda, but economic, social, and environment agenda together, and also it must be global challenge and universal in nature. Today, this 17 goal, equally valid for developed countries, emerging countries, and developing countries. I think it is really a fantastic decision we have taken. Look at the goal from no hunger to no poverty to decent job to education, what not is covered. And that is the beauty of sustainable development. In the context of today's discussion, you will come to the goal number 17, partnership and networking. One thing we have realized that this issue, whatever you take today, is interconnected. Not merely economic issue, not merely social issue, not merely environmental issue. All are integrated. And we need all the actors to sit down together. A multi-stakeholder perspective need to be taken, and that's why interministerial coordination, partnership at the government level, then it comes to the public-private community partnership at the grassroots level, and also VPET institution. I will come into the detail. There are 17 goals which has been mentioned. Goal number 4 has been exclusively for education, or if I permit to say, it is for quality educations. And overarching of that goal is equitable, inclusive, quality education, and lifelong opportunities for all by 2030. The key words here is inclusive, quality, lifelong learning. So that's the basis for the quality education that we are talking. You will be glad to know among the goals, there are 7 targets has been defined. 3 targets, especially for technical vocational education and training or VPET institution. This is the first time while world has taken decision, such a great priority, skills and TVET at the center stage, and rightly so. Sometimes I say, if education is the key for development, TVET is the master key to unlock poverty, to facilitate the sustainable development goal. So we cannot ignore, and we are very happy that has been done. But that doesn't mean that VPET institution will be only goal 4. No. In all other goals, like goal number 5 for gender, goal number 8 for decent job, you go one by one, infrastructure, water, poverty, whatever you take. Can you imagine a world without the skilled workforce? You can achieve infrastructure, you can achieve clean water, you can achieve any food security? Impossible. So we are glad that not only goal number 4, but all other goals also need skills, and especially the VPET skills, which are very, very important in installation, commissioning, all the measure. I was in Myanmar just a few days ago, coming from a 4th regional workshop. Asian Development Bank with Germans has organized a regional conference there. Asian Development Bank has taken a historic decision now. The decision is all the ADB project will be supported by skill development project. So they have a big infrastructure project connecting different countries, but never there was a need to think that who will maintain, who will operate, who will develop, who will install, who will commission. We are glad after our persistent insistence, now there is a clear indication that no project will be approved if there is no human capital being taken into consideration. I think that's a brilliant decision that we are going forward to do that. So if you have this one, that's why UNESCO has taken a very clear mandate that skill is top at the agenda, and this is not only in UNESCO, in all the member states, it is a higher priority. But there is now a big tendency by the member state to invest on TVET. But I like to just caution them one thing. Before you bug on the big investment, I think we need to check what TVET system is going on. Is it beneficial or not? Is there a need to be reform it not or transform it not? Just investing and putting resources will maybe in a not right direction. In a sense, if you are practicing wrong TVET system and you pursue on more investment on the same model, you will do greater damage in a sense. So our understanding is before we go for a big investment, we have to look first at the TVET from 3 lenses. First, we need to check the economic lens, which is basically, we call it, labor market orientation, whether it is clearly bugged on the labor market information or not. And many of the member states we have observed, it is a supply-driven. It's not member states, that's the labor market taken into consideration. So this is our first. The second one is on equity lens. Not only we have to talk about economic lens, but equity. Look at many countries. I do not want to mention here, emerging economy in particular, I have seen. Growth rate is 7%, 9%, 10% for 7 to 8, 10 years. But society is getting divided more and more, have and have-nots. There are poverty alleviation programs which is affected. You can see that there is social disorder is also coming. So the fruits of the development goes to a limited portion, not equally social angle is not there. There is no decent job, social security is not that strong, but you know, you will get a kind of feeling that the growth is going. We don't want growth. We want sustainable growth. If a growth doesn't support equally to all people, what is the use of that growth? That growth is not the mission of United Nations. It must be inclusive growth, and we need to ensure that. The third question is, sustainable growth means we need to transform the technical vocational. That's why we need a transformational lens. What are the key factors of transformation that is needed? Transformation dimension of the TVET. That is the critical thing which I like to give you a thought. The first thing we think on the transformational dimension will be the lifelong learning. The major dimension is lifelong learning. When we talk about lifelong learning, if you look from the policy perspective, I am with the education sector for around 35 years now, and from day one, I only know there is a primary education, there is a secondary education, there is a tertiary education, technical vocational education, university education. We have departmentalized the education. But look at the individual now. Are they divided? It is the same Shamul will start at primary education, moves to secondary, then I decided I will do some labor market job, goes to the labor market. Then I came back, I thought, oh, this is I need to upgrade my skill. Then I will come back to the school. Again, I do something, and then again I go back to the labor market. It is a zigzag path. And myself is a lifelong learner, like all of you. How come a system is making like departmentalism and disjoint and disconnected? No. It should be lifelong learning perspective. That's why school to work, work to school, continuing adult education, work-based learning, what not. We learn all the time from the community, from the family, from the workplace, everywhere. If you want to track me, then track me as an individual and see my lifelong learning index. I think some of the country has started doing that. Individual record of the learning curve, like a bank account. There is a learning bank where you can enroll your account and they will keep track of your interesting life that you are pursuing. Because nowadays people are changing their career at least 4 to 5 times minimum. So gone with the day, I am in the school, there is no need to further education, I'm comfortable. If I got a government job, then okay, my pension is ensured. But look at all the systems are going away. It is a new totally world, and we need to prepare on that. The second dimension is the greening TVET. I think yesterday Pavlova has summarized in his way that climatic change is a very big issue. What is the response? If you have a growth with fossil fuel technology, do you think that is sustainable? No. You have economic growth. You have a job, but these are temporal. You are actually killing the entire environment. This is not acceptable. And we have paid huge penalty for that. We don't repeat that. What we need, again, is sustainable development. That's why TVET institution has an important role to play. The 12 Univox centers that came today, they came not only to attend your conference, but they also will discuss 3 days workshop. where they will say that how TVET institution will respond to the greening, and there was a greening TVET guide that has come into. The third point is digital TVET. I think enough discussion yesterday you have seen. This is a new world that is going to come, which is nothing but digitization of work and life, and Industry 4.0 we all talk. But sometimes Industry 4.0, because the term is there, industry, people only think this is confined to only factory and others. This will be a wrong notion. Agriculture is also industry. When you say industry, yes, Internet of Things, 3D printer, all this, a manufacturing way of the looking. But if you go at the agriculture, if you use biotechnology, STEM technology, you use tissue culture, you use organic farming in a better way, to me, this is also Industry 4.0. Because this is all coming at par, a new way of doing the things in terms of, yes, steam has done the first revolution, then electricity has done the second revolution, third revolution was robotics and automation, and fourth revolution is coming, which is a cyber physical system. Not only cyber world, where we are enjoying, it should be connected with the physical world. It is equally valid, not for industry, but the service sector and also for the agricultural sector and others. So with this is a digital, I think we need to come. So that's the third one. And the final one is the steaming TVET. I'm so glad that you have a STEM workshop here. And usually we call it not only STEM, we have add A there, make it STEAM, because A is nothing but arts. Because without arts, creativity, critical thinking, you cannot achieve this science, technology, engineering, and maths. These become a fundamental thing. Why steaming is needed? Because if you don't have the STEAM, you will not able to go to digital TVET. Your greening TVET dimension will be weak because workplace are changing very, very fast. So let's look at the changing workplace. What is happening? Moving from divergent technology to convergent technology. As you know, like electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, these are no more this discipline. We have nanotechnology, mechatronics. We are talking about biotechnology. These are not monodiscipline, they are multidiscipline. So this is a new kind of technology is coming. That is the first phenomena. The second one is from the cyber to cyber physical. Yes, in the cyber, people are doing miracle. But what is more miracle when you attach with the physical system with the cyber world? And that's sensor-based and ubiquitous technology, which is totally different. They will help you in your day-to-day life, whether in your refrigerator milk is finished. Even if you are in a workplace, through cyber system, you will get the information and signal. Before you go to the home, please bring your milk. The milk is almost going to be finished in the refrigerator. It's totally different, I'm telling you. And it is a new world where cyber and the physical system will marriage and give a new dimension to us. We also do not know what exactly is waiting for us. Some people say if it is combined with nanotechnology, which is a tremendous revolution as creating, you did not need a big thing. More small, you are more powerful. This is a different world altogether. And you are looking at the computers, and you have seen something, but these are coming to me in a big way. The third one, petro-based to, we call it bio-based. What is the common characteristics of all this technology? First, these are interdisciplinary. Second, these are oriented to research and development. Third, these are information intensive. And the final one, it is basically very short cycle. So you need to see what TVET skill will match with all this scenario. If you need to match, the VPET institution has to come up with a 21st century skill framework. What is this 21st century skill framework? There are three components: foundation skill, transversal skill, and specialized skill. First, come to the specialized skill. Without any skill which is relevant to the workplace, you are useless. With only transversal skill, you cannot stay in the market because you need some competency, core competency on the specialized skill. So that's we know altogether. So if it is a Industry 4.0, you have to know the Internet of Things, you have to know 3D printing, you have to know the flexible machine operations. These are basics. But that is not enough. This has to be combined with the transversal skill, which is basically learning to learn skill, apart from any other skill. I'm not giving the 20 item. Why I'm saying learning to learn? Because technology is changing very fast. Today, you are expert in Java, and tomorrow Java is gone. There's a new language is coming. Do you think that because I'm expert in Java and I can do the next language if you are not trained properly? And difficulty is for VPET institution. Don't teach in a narrow skill. Then their life is doomed. They earn money for a shorter period of time, and suddenly they will realize, I have no future. I have not talked to your young people here, but I'm pretty sure they are very smart. What they will tell us is that, sir, do something where after completing the program, I can also quickly learn other things. Don't teach me only one product. Teach me the generic skill, which is very, very important. And that will give me confidence to handle, and also permeability, vertical mobility to go upward. But when we look this transversal skill, the most important is the foundation skill. Why? Suddenly you want to be a nanotechnician, but your background mathematics has not been covered in the TVET curriculum on that. Can you cope up with that? Impossible. So you need STEM at the foundation skill. Earlier, we say foundation skill, read, write, something, and we add something on digital literacy. No more sufficient now. And that's the biggest challenge I'm telling you for all of us. Our time is limited. We need a solid base so that we can pick up from one language to object-oriented technology. That needs your foundation should be very strong. So there, foundation skill, transversal skill, and specialized skill combinations. What is the regional context? I think this is the background I'm talking on the global context. Come to the regional context very quickly because I think we have 13 minutes more. So first regional context to me is this is Asia Pacific. Fantastic region, the growing region, happening region, the way you can talk about. Impressive growth, growing market, continued integration is happening. Demography is a big advantage. So there is a real happening here. Some people say sun has really waking up from the east. And that's Asia Pacific is rising. I was amazed to see the kind of conferences happening every month almost. And these are very big, big events from country to country. It shows this is really a place where it is happening. But in spite of all this thing, you will be surprised to know skill shortage and mismatch is the major constraint to development, which has been told by 48% of employers in Asia Pacific region. Shortage is very, very high. And particularly shortage is in higher skill. Low and medium is not a problem. I can give you the next chart where you can see that this shortage shares of high, medium, low skill occupation in the total employment, you will see only 3 to 4 countries has actually a larger share in high order skill. Rest, we are only resting on low or medium. Then what is the issue? The issue is there is a job, there is no skill, shortage of skill. There is a lot of application, but there is no demand. So if your skill is low at the medium level, the chances of getting jobs are very low. But if you have a high skill, you will get high job opportunity is high. So the challenge is how we can transform from this transformation. And in that context, definitely you will see in the region, some of us are really developed, doing well, some at the medium level, some at the low level. We need to cooperate. How Malaysia, you have attained that level, you have to tell your story to Cambodia, to Bangladesh, to Myanmar today. They have started their journey. We don't want to do the same mistake. Maybe you have burned your finger saying that these are not correct, we have changed this policy. They will learn and they will leapfrog. You never know. And leapfrogging is possible in a best way when the sharing of information is there. In this context, my understanding is there is a growing demand for partnership and networking among VPET. Many of the countries told me, we don't need money. What we need is the know-how and how the process. We need to share because we like to share our context, we learn to more other contexts, and that will give much more insight. So, but the new model of partnership is that we are understanding is first, the emerging trends are, it is no more donor and recipient model. It is more peer-to-peer. And peer-to-peer doesn't have the hierarchy. And their VPET institutions network at the same level is most important. The third one, everybody interested about what is regionalization and localization. Something is good for your country doesn't mean it is equally valid because we have a different context here. And finally, all the countries realize it is a strategic resource. Like you say equipment is a resource, capital is a resource, land is a resource. If you come up to the management book, you have a standard 3M or 4M, some books say 5M. But never we realize that partnership and networking is a strategic resource. If you have a good friend, your life is done. If you have a good partner, you have a bright future. It's not that whether you are poor or middle, that's not an issue. Are you connected? Are you in a network? That's why the power of partnership is very, very high. We, from our point, the partnership we see at a different level, government to government level, business to business level, but at the same time, I have talked that peer-to-peer is VPET institution to VPET institution level. Here, UNIVOC network is a worldwide largest network of TVET institution. We have 240 UNIVOC centers in 170 countries. Widespread, red dots are UNIVOC centers, and the blue dots are the cluster coordinators. Now, blue dots are UNIVOC center, and red dots are the cluster coordinator. I have to go a little fast. And what we did from the global network, we came at the regional network, which is basically nothing but we divided into region into cluster. And in Asia Pacific, you will see we have a 3 cluster. Under each cluster, we have UNIVOC centers. So what they do, actually, when we have this structure, we do like 3 major goals of this networking: fostering international and regional collaborations, South-South and North-South-South dialogue, develop the capacity of the UNIVOC centers, and finally, sharing promising practices in TVET across the network. We have specific some product modalities. We do experience sharing, policy learning, facilitate regional international collaboration, pooling of resources. As the time is short, I cannot illustrate how Sri Lanka and Afghanistan has worked together at peer-to-peer level in the national qualification framework. It was really astonishing to me how we can pool resources these different ways. Then, benchmarking and comparative research. We do strengthening of capacities, and we have also knowledge development and management. In the knowledge development and management, we have 5 products. TVET Forum, if you are not a member, I request you, please be a member. There is no need to be UNIVOC Center to be TVET Forum. Ask any question. you will get from the answer, not from the expert, from your peer. That's the beauty. They respond within 10 minutes or 15 minutes. You never know. You raise the question, maybe your answer will be given by one person in Canada you have never seen, but they will respond because we have 5,500 TVET professionals in the network. Worldwide TVET Forum, we have publication, we have TVET, TVTP glossary, and also we have promising practices. Means we don't say good practices or best practices, because what is good for you, what is best for you, may not be the best equally to others. So we call it promising practices. We have done network engagement through. There are 3 major projects recently done. I will not go to the history. One is return on investment. Univox centers in Australia lead the process with 6 and 7 Univox centers. What a wonderful way of collaborating and understanding the whole thing. The second one we did very recently on greening skill. I think Hong Kong, our Univox center, has taken the lead role in doing that research, and it is an ongoing research, and part of the research has also a ADB project which has been undertaken there. The third one, we are doing quality assurance in the TVET qualification across South Asia Pacific. You know that ASEAN has a better qualification framework, whereas SAARC region do not have that. So we make a quality assurance guideline, is working on that. So what is my last message? Because I want to keep 5 minutes for question and answer, that we believe networking and partnership are the new strategic resource in the SDG era. Let us hold our hand together and build a bright future. Thank you.